Welcome to the Love to Sew podcast. My name is Caroline. I live in Leicestershire in the UK. I live in a little village with my partner Simon and my two teenage children. This is going to be a podcast about knitting and sewing primarily, or there may be the odd other crafty thing that I talk about. If I ever record another podcast. This is my first podcast, and you can probably tell I'm very nervous. There's going to be lots of ums and probably some blushing going on today. I'm a little bit shaky, well, a lot shaky actually, so I'm having a cup of tea to try and calm my nerves. So I am on Instagram as Caroline Love to Sew. I am also on Ravelry as Caroline Love to Sew. I'm a very new knitter. I've only been knitting since the beginning of this year. So the things that I've got to show you are probably quite basic things, but it's knitting nonetheless. So I'm going to get started and show you a couple of things that I'm knitting on at the moment. I don't have any finished items, but I have a few whips that I'd like to share with you. So the first thing I'll show you is in this gorgeous bag from my friend on Instagram, Sherry Iris. Well, Sherry is her name, Sherry Iris is her Instagram name. Look at this beautiful bag that she hand embroidered for me. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. She's so clever. This gorgeous Liberty fabric at the top. Who doesn't love a bit of Liberty? So in here is a hat that I'm knitting for somebody for Christmas. I better not say who it is in case she ends up watching the podcast. Although when she sees it, she sees the colour of it, I'm sure she'll know exactly who it's for. So, this is the yarn I'm using. This beautiful yarn in gorgeous reds and purples. I hope that you can see that, because these are her favourite colours. And that yarn is from Elm Tree Yarns, and the colourway is Scarborough Fair. So I'm knitting the, I think it's Raituli hat. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. So this is what I've done so far. I'm a very slow knitter because I've not been knitting very long. And if I make mistakes, I have to undo them. And sometimes that involves just tinking right back and starting again, which is what happened with this hat, because I got to about here in the ribbing and noticed that there were some mistakes a bit further down, and I honestly had no idea how to fix it. So I thought, well, I think if the hat had been for me, I probably would have just left it, maybe. But because it's a Christmas present, I decided the best thing to do was to start again, because you don't want to give something to somebody with mistakes in it, do you? So that's as far as I've got. And I'm really enjoying knitting on it, on these lovely circular needles. Such pretty colour, isn't it? I love how it's knitting up as well. Gorgeous. So this was, this is obviously just knit stitch, which stockinette is it, which is very easy, and it's quite a nice thing to just sit and knit on when you're having a lunch, or you're sitting and watching television in the evening or something like that. So I should definitely have that finished in time to give at Christmas. Lovely, lovely bag. Right, the second thing is a sock that I'm knitting. I'm finding it very difficult. I think sock knitting is very hard. This is my second attempt at a sock, knitting a sock. and the first, it's the same pattern. I'm using the My First Sock pattern by Sandra Cherry Hart, and well, the first sock I knitted, I followed that pattern completely, and when it got to the heel I got in such a pickle, and I made so many mistakes. I just decided to put it away. I think it was probably too early to start trying to knit a sock, because I hadn't been knitting very long, and I thought it was probably best to stop rather than keep getting frustrated. And when so this sock that I'm knitting is for the Strictly Sock Along, which is being run by the lovely Ali. Now on Instagram she's Starry Eyes Ali, but her podcast is called Little Drops of Wonderful. That's right, I always get those confused. So basically the rules are that you have to cast on in the first show, and then cast off in the final of the show. And you're supposed to knit during the show each Saturday, and it takes 2 every evening during the week. The problem I have with that, whilst that is a great idea, is that I can't knit and watch television at the same time. I make mistakes, and I love Strictly so much that I don't want to miss any of the dances and things that are going on. So I watch the show, record it at the same time, and then have it on in the background whilst I'm knitting, because the rules are to knit during a show. And you can bend the rules very slightly. You can also, watch YouTube videos of older dances and things like that, but again, that involves looking at the screen, but I need to be looking at my knitting. So this is all I've done. I cast on in September, and it's extremely slow progress. So in the pattern, My First Sock pattern, it should have a pattern on here and on the foot, but I'm not doing it. I'm just knitting, knit. So I followed casting on the rib, etc., and I've followed the heel stitches from the pattern, and everything else I'm just knitting, because I think that because I made so many mistakes last time, it was so depressing. I thought I really don't want to fail with these socks, so I'm trying to make my life a little bit easier, and it has done actually. It's been quite enjoyable, because once you get going it's quite nice. So this yarn is so beautiful. This is from my lovely friend Tracy at Norah George Yarns. Everybody's heard of Tracy. Her yarn is just beautiful, and this is called Meet Me in St. Louis. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And it has a little bit of sparkle in it too. Don't know if you can see that. It's lovely. There's my little heel that I've done. So this is the first sock, and I have obviously got another one of these to make. So I need to get a wiggle on really. But the next bit where I'm picking up stitches frightens me a bit, and I really don't want to go wrong, so I've got to take my time over it, and do it when I'm not being distracted by something else. So I'm knitting these on 9-inch circulars, which when I first started using them on the first pair of socks, I got into a right state, but actually now I'm used to it, and I think I can handle it a bit better. Here's the yarn, look. Gorgeous. Very pretty. So watch this space. I don't know if I'll finish them by the time I may be able to cast the one sock off in the final, but I certainly won't be able to do both. I know that for sure, because I'm so slow, really slow. So that's that. Let's have a little sip of my tea. It's such a beautiful day today. It is let's see what date it is. It is the 23rd of November and I went out for a walk this morning because it's chilly but it's absolutely beautiful. The sun is shining, it's a gorgeous day, really dry, no wind, and it's just perfect for a lovely autumn walk. So I really enjoyed that. I went out to try and psych myself up for my podcast. Oh dear. You know, I see people drinking tea on podcasts and I think, you know, they seem to be drinking a lot, and now I understand why, because your mouth gets really dry when you're just talking constantly. So, my next project, which I absolutely love, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will know because I post about it all the time. I'm sorry if it gets boring, but I just love it, and it's in this beautiful bag from Emma at Eldenwood Craft. Look at that. I've been wanting one of these for ages, and we did a bag swap recently and she made one for me, and oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. Look how enormous it is. It's bigger than my head. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's so well made. Absolutely beautiful. Lovely navy canvas on the back. Oh, I just love it. I'll turn it around so you can see the sheep. Right, so in here is my Cozy Memories blanket. Let's just pop that there. Okay. I've got one more square to do until it's a square again, as you can see. And the only ends that I haven't woven in are the ones that I can't weave in yet. So I apologise for that. But look how beautiful. I absolutely love this project. It's so satisfying, and I have to say it's been one of those projects that has really helped me with my knitting. I've become a lot more confident whilst knitting this, because it's very simple and very intuitive. Look at that lovely colour. That's beautiful. So this, well, obviously these are all minis. Well, because I haven't been knitting for very long, I don't have a lot of leftover yarn, clearly. So I've had to buy, I wanted to buy minis to put in my blanket. So I joined, a monthly sock club with Herbs Black Regina. I hope I've said that properly, I'm sorry if I haven't. So a lot of these yarns, in fact, I think the majority of the yarns in the blanket are from Regina, but they are so beautiful. I've also bought some from Rainbow Cloud. This is Rainbow Cloud. She's Rainbow Cloud 5. Cassia, I think her name is. She's Rainbow Cloud 5 on Instagram. This is Kate Celine. I got some minis from Kate Celine. Now some of these have been gifted to me and I can't remember where they're from. I'm a bit rubbish, I'm sorry. But they are so beautiful, aren't they? Just look at that yellow. That's gorgeous. This one was gifted to me recently by my lovely friend Sharon. She's Pink Lime Crafts on Instagram. In fact, well, not most of them, but a lot of these, that's from her as well. I think that one and that one. This one here and this one. And that one. And this one down here. I think that might be Rainbow Cloud actually, but these are all the ones that Sharon's given me. So that's Regina, Regina, Regina. Oh, this one here is Bear and Vulla. That's so gorgeous, isn't it? Beautiful. And that one, my first ever one, was Bear and Vulla. So if you want to know how I knit my blanket, I've put some details on Ravelry. If you want to have a look. So the last colour, for now, obviously it's not anywhere near done, is going to be pink. I'll show you. There's this one here. It's lovely pink. It's really pretty, isn't it? There you go. So that's going to go in this top corner here. Just there. So I think would look nice. And then I shall start again on my next rows. So I'm absolutely loving that, and when I sit, I don't have a lot of knitting time, so when I do actually sit down, I can really probably knit up a square in about 45 minutes. So that's not bad for a new knitter, I think. I'm quite chuffed with myself there. I'm knitting those on bamboo needles, which I really like. They're so lovely to use, so smooth. I can't remember what size they are. Oh, crikey. 2.75. 2.75. Bit of fluff on there. But I like using those. They're really nice to use. So, that's that little project. Okay. So, I've shown you my current works in progress. I know there aren't many. But now I was just going to talk to you briefly about the Nottingham Yarn Expo that I went to with Simon a couple of weeks ago now. It's the first event of its kind that I've ever been to, and I wasn't really sure what to expect, but oh my goodness, I was so impressed and I loved it. I mean, the yarn obviously is just all beautiful, and I was just squishing all day long. But the thing I really liked the most was meeting so many wonderful people, so many lovely knitters. I met people who I've been following on Instagram for some time, and whose podcasts I watch. Oh, it was such a lovely, lovely day. It exceeded my expectations completely. And Simon wasn't bored, which is amazing. He really got into it, bless him. It was so nice. I didn't really want to go on my own, and my friends and my group of friends are not really knitters. Well, they're not knitters, and I thought, well, I could go on my own, but then it might be a little bit boring for me, or a little bit nerve-wracking. Not boring. Boring's not the right word. Nerve-wracking to turn up somewhere on my own. So he came with me, and that was really kind of him. And he bought me a couple of things for Christmas, which is really nice. Yarny things. So I'm going to show you the yarn that I bought and why I bought it, because what I didn't want to do was turn up and think, oh my goodness, it's just all so beautiful, and buy lots of skeins of yarn and then think, right, what am I going to do with this? Which I'm sure I would have found something eventually, but I wanted to go with a plan. So I printed off this pattern, this new pattern by Locatelli. It's the Jodi shawl, which I'm sure you've all heard of. And you require 3 skeins of DK weight yarn. So I went upstairs first of all. No, we were upstairs. When you come in to Nottingham Yarn Expo, you're upstairs, then you go down. But so we walked around the level that we came in on, and one of the first stands that I came to was Skein Queen. So I've been following her on Instagram for a little while, which is quite exciting to see her in the flesh, so to speak. And I got these 2 really lovely skeins from her. So first of all, there's this one. Let me show you them. So there's this one here, which is quite a pale green with little splashes of pink. Can you see that? Look, lovely, lovely colours in there. Really gorgeous. And then I got this one as well. So I thought I'd start the top of the shawl with the pale one and work down to a slightly darker green. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful, isn't it? I love it. Eek. Lovely, lovely colours. And then I thought, well, she didn't really have another colour. Well, she had lots of beautiful colours, but she didn't have colours that I thought would look good with the ones I'd chosen. So I thought, well, I'll buy those 2 and then I'll carry on walking around, because she was the first stand I went to, as I say, and I thought there'll be somebody else, I'm sure, that I'll be able to buy from. So I went to my friend Beth from Beehive Yarns. She was there. Her stall was absolutely gorgeous, really beautiful, and we've been chatting on Instagram for quite some time, and I hadn't met her, and it was just so nice to meet her. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see the photographs, because I took a few photographs of the people that I met and put them on Instagram. So Simon bought this for me for Christmas, this lovely sock set from Beth. It's called Barbarella, and it's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% stellina. Okay, I don't know if you can see the sparkle in that. It's absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful colours. So these will possibly become a pair of socks eventually. But then when I saw this, I thought, now that would look really, really nice as a pop of colour to pick out the pinks in the green skeins that I bought. So when I put them together, ignore this bit, just look at this bit. I thought, what a lovely way to finish off my shawl with that beautiful pink around the bottom. So Beth, bless her heart, is going to dye a skein of yarn in her Dolly DK base. How cute is that? To go with my new green skein. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm very excited to cast on, but I've got to finish the hat first before I start on anything else. Then we went to the Norah George stand, Tracy Arnold's stand, and I bought these cute little minis. So this is her, oh gosh, this is her Holly Berry colourway. Look at that, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Beautiful. So this may be part of a sock, and any leftovers will probably go into my Cozy Memories blanket. And this one is called Eggnog. That's so lovely, isn't it? Look at those lovely browns. Can you see that? Gorgeous. Creams and browns and beiges. Lovely. It's quite nice in my room, actually. So that was lovely. Her stand was absolutely amazing. It was huge. Absolutely huge. She works so, so hard to prepare for that, bless her. And then another shawl that I quite like to make is this one, Pure Joy from Locatelli, which I think loads and loads of you have made already. So I went to the Stranded Dyeworks stand, and I met Amy and her lovely mum, and I had a photograph with her, which you've probably seen in my Instagram feed. She was so, so lovely, just as lovely in real life as she's on her podcast. She was gorgeous, and she really, really helped me choose the right yarn for this shawl, so that was lovely. So for that I have these two. So this pink one here is going to be where the white is, or the off-white colour is in this shawl. So I went for the pink. Isn't that gorgeous? It's called Modern Love. That one. So it's pinks and purples and oranges, and it's just beautiful. And then I was trying to look for something to match that, and Simon said, oh, how about this one? It brings out the pop of purple in this one. And it was so funny. I just laughed my head off, because I didn't imagine he would ever say anything like that, but he's been listening to me ranting on about yarn, obviously. And there was a lady standing behind him who also cracked up. It was really funny. He was got really embarrassed, but he's absolutely right. It's perfect. It's perfect for it. So that'll be the stripes here, and then the bit around the edge here. So I'm really looking forward to doing that as well. I can't decide which one to do first. Which one shall I do? I don't know. I don't want to cast them both on together, because then I might get confused. So perhaps I need to do one, finish it and then do another. We'll see. So that is that. That was Nottingham. I mean, like I say, it was just such a fantastic day. I enjoyed every minute and I really didn't want to go. But we were going out in the evening as well. We had a dance to go to. And we'd been in Nottingham. We live in Leicester, so we had to get back to Leicester and then eat our dinner, get ready to go out, and then go to Buckingham to a dance. So it was a long day, but it was totally brilliant and I loved every minute of it. So that was great. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to tell you is that I have an Etsy shop. It's called Love to Sew UK. If I work out how to edit this podcast, I'll put some details on the screen and possibly some in the box below, if I can work out how to do that as well. But in my Etsy shop I sell Tilda fabric, and I also sell project bags for knitters and crocheters. So I've got a couple of bags that I wanted to show you briefly. So at the moment in my shop I have one of these Christmas bags left. This is Tilda fabric as well. So that's the inside. Coordinating fabric, so it's quite nice to roll down like that and you can see your project. So it's lined to about halfway, and that's my Love to Sew stamp. You can't see that very well. There you go. So that's quite nice. You can fit in a skein of yarn in there, so you can get your yarn in, and probably two actually. It's quite roomy. Yeah, you can get two in there. And obviously your pattern and your needles, etc. So that one is currently in my shop. It's just a drawstring. So I think it's quite pretty. I quite like these bags. I've got a few myself. This is one of mine. So I like the fact that you can see the lining when you close the bag. So that one's in my Etsy shop now. This one is also, there's two of these in my Etsy shop. These are much bigger, as you can see. And these are made with Tilda fabric again, with a lovely velvet base and velvet for the drawstrings up here. Oh, so lovely. Feels really lush. So a lovely purple. So in this fabric is purples and golds and teals. So I've used gold and teal on the side as well. And it's the same on the front and the back. And on the front is a little wooden heart button, because I love buttons. Oh, I forgot to show you my buttons that I got from Nottingham. I'll show you those in a minute. So that's a nice drawstring bag. You can get lots and lots of skeins in here. This is quite a large bag. I would imagine that you'd probably be able to knit a sweater, because you'd have all your yarn in there and your sweater and your pattern, etc. Look, there's 4 skeins in there. It's a really big bag. So, there's, like I say, there's a couple of those in my Etsy shop at the moment. And I'm going to have a very small shop update on the Friday the 1st of December with some Christmas bags. There will be literally a handful of them because I'm working on a collaboration at the moment, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. So I just wanted to get a few more Christmas bags in the shop. So this is a drawstring. Here is my Love to Sew stamp, and I've put a little pocket in this one. So the fabric on the pocket is the same as the fabric on the outside, which is a lovely Amy Sinibaldi fabric. Little Town, I think it's called. And I've sewn some silver stars, and this is linen, but it... Hi, I'm sorry about that. I was chatting and my camera stopped working. So here I am again. So I was talking to you about this Christmas bag, which is going to be available in my Etsy shop on Friday the 1st of December at 6 o'clock in the evening, Greenwich Mean Time. So we have lovely shimmery linen, nice silver sparkle running through it, some little stars, silver stars, a nice off-white lining with my Love to Sew stamp, that's my logo, and a little pocket in this one, as you can see. So the pocket has the same fabric that's on the front of the bag, as you can see. And this is quite a large bag. I think you'd probably be able to fit a couple of skeins in there. Let's have a look. There we go. It's a nice drawstring. So all my bags have, they're all lined and they all have interfacing, so it makes them nice and quilty and squidgy, which I really like. And box bottoms, so they all stand on their own, which is really nice. And then a ribbon with a little ring on the side to put your progress keepers. So these are on all of my bags, and the ribbons coordinate with the fabrics. So that's that one. So that will be, like I say, that'll be available. Literally, there's only a handful of them. I've made just a few Christmas bags because I'm working on a collaboration, which I'm going to talk to you about now. So that's that one. So I am currently working on a collaboration with lovely Beth from Beehive Yarns. She is going to be dyeing some sock sets, and they're going to be Marie Antoinette themed, so really beautiful pastel-y colours with some sort of striking colours with them. So there's going to be a blue version and a green version. So these are the bags that I have made to, wrong way around, to go with the sock sets in our little collaboration. So we have a blue one, this is Tilda fabric, and this is pink linen and some mother of pearl buttons just here. And this one is also lined. There's my logo. And this has a lovely soft pink lining. I don't know if you can see that. It's very pretty. I would say these bags are suitable for a one skein project, so a sock project is ideal. So nice drawstrings. Again, all interfaced and lined and boxed on the bottom. So that's the blue one, and the green one is the same. So that has a drawstring lining, drawstring. There we go. So they will be in Beth's Etsy shop, Beehive Yarns Etsy shop, on Sunday the 3rd of December. We haven't quite reached agreement on a time yet, or we haven't really discussed a time actually. So once we know when they'll be available, we will let you know on Instagram. So if you're following me and Beth, then you have a chance of knowing when the bags and yarn will be available. And talking about collaborations, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I recently did a collaboration with Tracy from Norah George, and we are planning another one for the new year, and it will be Valentine's Day related. So I recently put a picture of the fabrics that I'm going to be using, the Tilda fabrics that I'm going to be using, on Instagram, and it will also be a sock set actually for that collaboration, and we're considering keeping the sock set colours a secret, so it'll be a secret sock set, so you'll have an idea of what the colours that will be in it from the bags, but the yarn is going to be secret. So I hope that's okay. Do you prefer it to be secret, or do you prefer to know what you're buying? Perhaps you could let me know and we'll go with a general consensus. The bags for the collaborations, I should probably just say, will all be one-off bags. They'll be one of a kind. So these particular combinations and colourways, and the same with the ones for the collaboration with Tracy, I won't be repeating those bags, and she won't be repeating the colourways either. So they'll only be available once during the collaboration. So yeah, that's very exciting, and I think that's it for today. So I really hope that you have enjoyed watching my podcast. I'm less nervous now than I was at the beginning, but I know that I've probably said about 1 million times, so I apologise for that. And I really, there you go again, there's another one. It must be a natural thing to me to say every now and again. So, and so as well, that's another one I keep saying. I watched myself back about 10 minutes ago, and I just thought, oh crikey, all we keep saying is some and oh. Not to worry, I'm sure there's lots of people the same that do things like that. So there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed watching, and thank you so much. And I hope you come back and watch another podcast if I decide to record a second one. So have a lovely time until then. Enjoy your knitting and crafting. And thank you very much. Bye.